Guys, John and Brian are both longtime Amazon sellers. They've done very, very well for themselves. You guys might remember Brian from Leads on Location. He used to run that. It was probably one of the best lead lists out there, and I know that I believe that it still is. And John is a seven-figure Amazon seller himself. And we're going to talk a little bit about their program, Seller Candy. Seller Candy is all about taking some of the managerial tasks off of your plate, allowing you to focus on income-producing activities rather than dealing with all of the, all of the tasks that we often dread. John, Brian, welcome, guys. What's going on?
Hey Chris, thanks for having us.
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
sorry, had some video issues there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand the host to Brian. He can turn on his video, hand it back
Okay.
to me, and then we'll all have video. Make host.
Really? Okay.
There you go. Perfect. Now, can you hand me back the host, if that's okay? Perfect. So yeah, thanks everyone for coming, and we're going to dive in 1 second.
Here we go.
Thanks for having us, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad you guys could come on. I know it is. It's got to be early there. These guys are both in. It's still Ho Chi Minh, right?
That's right. Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And unless they start scheduling some flights back home pretty soon, we're going to be here for a while.
Yeah, borders have been closed for a while here. So as you can tell, we both live in Ho Chi Minh City, but we're from different places. So I'm from the UK originally, and Brian's a Florida boy.
South Florida, yes.
Cool. So we're just going to dive in. So I know everyone's time is very precious, so let's jump in. So this webinar is about outsourcing your seller central workload and problem solving without the HR headache. So this is only going to be a short webinar, and our promise is that this is going to be the stepping stone to becoming the owner of your Amazon business. What that means is getting out of the weeds, removing the daily pain points, so the stuff which takes up all of our time, but actually isn't moving our business forward. It's the busy work that keeps us doing things and churning the wheel every single day, but doesn't actually move us towards the ultimate goal. And I think for all of us, the ultimate goal is to become the business owner. You know, we want to own our business, but going from one person to owner, that's not really one step. We see that as like a transitional process. And what we want to do is we want to become the tool that helps you make that transition from owner, operator, doing everything, to becoming eventually the business owner where you are orchestrating your team. So here's the deal. If you stay until the end, we're going to lock you in, give you the ability for you to lock in at a very generous price and give you a bonus we've never offered before. So this time we've tailored our webinar specifically for OA and wholesale. And if you are private label, we can also give you another deal, but this is tailored more for OA and wholesale, and you'll see throughout the service, we've given some special bonuses for those people. Brian obviously has a large background in OA, which he'll go through in a minute, because he's the OA man. So either 20 or 30 minutes. If you've got any phones, if you could put like notifications on silent, focus is our most precious resource. And if we can focus for 20 minutes, we'll get through it all. Get it through quick, answer any questions, and hopefully get you guys ready to go if you're interested. So a little bit about me. I founded Ecom DNA. It's an Amazon marketing agency. We do full service management, and that's actually where the idea from Seller Candy came from, because not everyone's ready for that level of service. We've sold over $4 million personally on Amazon Europe. We've sold over 100K consulting in a single month, actually probably like close to 150 in the last month. I've been running Amazon-based businesses for the last 5 years, and our claim to fame is we did 100K in the first 14 days of a brand new SKU. I'm also an avid traveler when you can travel, not at the moment, and a Tony Robbins fan when you can also go to those events.
Right.
So I'll introduce Brian.
Hey, Brian Patterson. Before I got involved with Amazon 5 or 6 years ago, I was working at Morgan Stanley doing stocks and bonds and everything else. And that's a long story for another day. But after I started selling, I got involved with this service. We started Leads on Location, and I guess people I guess people liked that one, Chris, and we became pretty popular in the online arbitrage space for the lead quality that we were doing. And I operate and maintain a bunch of different softwares. Some of them are free and have thousands of users, and one that we'll mention later is paid. But this kind of thing I like to do is create softwares and create services. And I have sold the one I mentioned before, Leads on Location. As Chris mentioned, I don't do it anymore because I sold that business. And yes, it is still operating right now with the exact same staff, the team that I put in place, and that was 2 years ago. So I know how to build like large teams or medium-sized teams of Amazon specialists and find really good people who stick around a long time and know what they're doing. As I mentioned, I'm from Florida, and I'm a very concerned Miami Heat fan after what I just saw. So
I
that's
don't
a
blame
difficult
you.
one for me. Whew. That was
It's dangerous
tough one.
mentioning sports on a public forum.
I'm a Florida boy. That's what I do.
Sports and politics. Keep away from webinars. Cool. Thanks, Brian. So me and Brian are going to tag team on this and chime in as and when we have something to add that works for anyone. Any questions throughout, please post them in the Q&A or in the chat. We'll get to everything at the end in about 15 minutes. And everything else, if anything comes up we really need to answer, we'll answer as we go, but we're going to try and save the questions for the end. If I speak too fast, let me know. Sorry, I'm caffeinated and English, so I tend to go a little bit too quick, so I'm going to slow down. So perfect. So
good.
What's this presentation about? So you want to delegate. Let's talk about it. Problem 1. So there's always a few problems that we believe are holding people back from making the decision to take someone on board. And these are the 3 biggest problems that we had when we wanted to hire somebody first time for our business. So you believe you need a full-time employee to handle sensitive account stuff. So problem number 1 is we believe we need somebody who's completely integrated in our team and just dedicated to us because they're going to be, have access to our Amazon account. But in reality, we realize we just need somebody who is super trustworthy and who is managed, in-house by somebody else. And they need to be task-driven. So that means that, we give them something, they know how to get to the solution. They're not just coming back to us asking us, oh, how do I do that? How do I do this? They know how to handle everything. So that means that, they can solve their own problems. They can ask seller support. They can go to Google. They can solve things that we know we can solve, but they can do it faster and better than us because they have experience. We don't want to manage them every single day because, as we grow our teams, we will need somebody who's high level, who is our partner, basically, who we're bouncing ideas off, who's running our business for us. But the step to that is to have somebody who isn't coming to ask us every single day any question because we're paying them a low wage. We don't want to be giving us a lot of our time to manage that person. Someone who's always available, so we can ping them and then they'll get back to us. And above all, as I said at the start, someone we can trust. So someone who we can give access to our account. Obviously, we don't give them bank access or anything like that. Just the level access to access what they need to access, which is manage inventory and a few other settings. And who can solve things for us immediately.
So let me comment on that real quick. This problem is all about, for me, this problem comes down to having a 40-hour employee. And that the reason that we like it to be task-driven like that is because when you're having a 40-hour employee, it takes up a lot of mental space just to think like, what should they be doing? What are they doing? Are they doing it right? What are they doing tomorrow? Did I give them anything for them? It's like a whole can of worms just to manage like what they're doing. And all you want is crap done. And so that's the 40-hour employee like mindset of that you need a 40-hour employee is kind of what gets me on that one. So continue.
Brian, more articulate than me. So number 2, my business is unique. So delegating work requires us to teach somebody the ins and outs of our business. So the truth is that we see many, many seller accounts every single day, tens of accounts every single day. And these issues are happening across all seller accounts. So this is something that Brian said when we talked about this earlier. Like, we've had an agency for a while, but as Brian became more into this agency and started growing the team, we see the same issues day in, day out, every single day on every single Amazon account.
Yeah, but when I was managing, when I was managing my own account before, when I was selling on Amazon before, everything seems like, oh my God, how am I going to figure this out? And you're going to Facebook and typing stuff and like, has anyone ever seen it? They got the wrong color at the warehouse, and it's kind of like when now that I've started doing, agency level work, it's every account. It's the same thing. It's the same canned response for every account. It's like uncanny, I guess is the word. I didn't think it would be that. I guess the word is similar. So those issues just pop up over and over.
Yeah. And as Brian says, the same canned response. So you get the same copy and paste response from Amazon, whether you're raising it in one account to another account. So our people see that copy and paste response, and we know what to say back to them in order to get the thing done, because we've seen it many, many times before. Problem 3 is actually finding and hiring people. So you need to find, interview, hire, train, retrain, engage, and manage these people just to have someone to follow up on your cases and fix small things in Seller Central.
Each one of those bold words is an entire process in itself, and it's a process that has a lot of luck in it too. You could get unlucky or make a mistake at any point in this list, and you start from scratch again. Sorry, go on. So that's huge for me. I hate starting from scratch. I'm really careful about who I employ and everything like that.
And in the long run, this is something we need to do. We need to hire and manage and train these people, but not necessarily to get the small things done in your account as you're transitioning towards becoming the owner and hiring these higher level people. Because at the end of the day, these people are fixing small things for you quickly, and we don't want to have to retrain and rehire somebody every single time. It takes 2 to 3 months to get a good employee trained up. And then if they go, you start the whole process again, and then you're back in the weeds immediately every single time. So this skill set does exist in the marketplace, although we train for it continuously, but it's hard to find. And what we've done here is we've packaged the skill set. So we've packaged this, somebody who can do these things, and our service can do these things without any training or management. So let's get some interaction. So out of these 3 beliefs, the full-timer, the unique business, or the micromanager, which one do you feel that you identify with the most? From these 3.
I'm definitely a 3 on that list.
I agree. I think I'm a 3 as well.
I was the full-timer when I started out. But yeah, I've also, full-timer and the micromanager, putting them together basically takes all your time.
Yeah. And mental
and you
energy.
have no time left.
And the mental energy, this is what really gets to me, not just the time. Not just the time. A lot of 3s and 1s.
Oh, you realize that, don't you? At the end of the day, if you're exhausted and you can't think anymore, which is me, I'm the guy that's really good in the morning right now. And then by the end of the day, I'm flagging. And all the mental energy it takes to manage someone. Perfect. Yeah, lots of 1s and lots of 3s in the chat. So thanks, everyone. So let's tailor it towards that for the rest of this presentation. So who's excited? So now we're going to tell you about what our service does and how you can get involved. So let's see how this is done. So number 1, what we do is any Seller Central task, issue, or case. So what that means is anything inside Seller Central. That can be opening and resolving all types of cases. That can be following up repeatedly until something's resolved. So that means that, when you ask Seller Central, they'll come back to you with canned response, and you have to continuously, rephrase the question until they figure out what you actually want. What we do is we will do that for you. So you tell us the outcome, and we will get you to the outcome. Hopefully the outcome being what we want. Occasionally, obviously, Amazon says no at the end, but we will push it as far as we can. We will call them, message them, whatever it takes to get to the outcome that you want. We do all types of reimbursement reports, including quarterly reimbursement and requesting all refunds due. So this is actually a really big one, and several of our clients have made back their entire fee just by having us do all their reimbursements for them. If you're above a certain size, that will pretty much pay for itself.
Easily happen,
to be honest. Yeah, thousands. We do listing optimization reports. So as we onboard every client, we go through listings. So we find that some clients have stock that's been sitting for a while. And then when we look at the listings, to be honest, they're rubbish because they're standard listings that someone else uploaded in the past. So we'll come in and we'll say, okay, if you update this listing, we believe you can help move some of this inventory a bit faster. And that's a way of actually helping our clients to churn the wheel a bit and get some of the old inventory moved through the system.
With OA, it's almost, I know from personal experience, you almost kind of just don't even want to you don't even know really how to change the listing because you can't do it on your back end, and Amazon doesn't seem to let you. And so there are even, especially ones that have a ton of inventory, we really can try to push hard to get them to make certain allowable updates just to make the listing serviceable when it was not in many cases. Not all cases, not even close, but we have had success doing that for OA.
Yeah, so we want to be your assistant. We want to also help with like any problem you have. We kind of can jump on a call. And nearly any seller central task, we will get you the best strategic results. And sometimes just knowing how is the key. So whether that's using a flat file, whether that's calling, whether that's raising a case, we will do it the best way possible first time to save massive amounts of time. So number 2, up to 3 open tasks requests simultaneously. That's pretty much as it says. And we give you 1 business day turnaround on all tickets and updates, and 3 cases at a time for flexibility. So we can be working on 3 different things simultaneously, and you can pause a task anytime if you want to be more flexible. So Amazon seller support does require repeated effort, and solving issue can take time depending on urgency. So we let you prioritize those. We tend to think most sellers, we tend to experience that most sellers 3 cases is enough. More difficult issues are followed up consistently, and there is a result or more information is needed. So we will ask you for more info if we need to, but our aim is to be out your way, just solving your issues over and over again. And short or easier issues, hopefully we fix in the first 24 hours. So we also offer you 1 business day turnaround. What that means is Monday to Friday, we'll have issues turned around quickly. We have a custom web portal. So we have our own interface where we can chat. You'll receive an email when you receive a message. It basically means that you can record things to us, just what you need doing, the outcome and the ASIN, and we'll get it done for you. So
the status of the case and the log of the history, what happened with the case. So
yeah, so everything's recorded, everything's there. And we have a full team working while you sleep. So you can log something, go to bed, come back in the morning, and we've solved it. And that's our aim, is we want to be your secret workers who you never see, who work while you sleep. And we have transparent and respectful team players and resourceful. So people that know how to communicate, and you'll get to know through the chat. Also, you have founder owners direct email for Zoom meetings if there's a complex issue or clarifications. So if any emergency comes up, call me or Brian, and we'll solve the issue for you or help you solve this issue. And we find this is super useful. We want to go above and beyond. These issues don't come up regularly, but when they do, we want you to know that you've got a safety net of people that have been there before, who we can at least chat back and forth on that stuff.
That comes into play. Things happen like that when we get involved with brand registry or some crazy warehouse happenings where things are just lost and we're not sure if we should pull it from the shelf or what should happen. But that does become important to have that experience in your corner. So,
yeah. So we also do multiple accounts and marketplaces. I need a couple more now. So if you're already operating in multiple regions, we support that. If you want to add new regions, so for example, expand to Canada, expand into Europe, we can actually help upload those listings for you. And if you need to do translations, we also have a discounted rate with a partner service who can help you translate your listings ready to get going internationally. If you have multiple accounts or brands in the same region, we can support that, up to 2 in this standard one. And for account managers or brand managers, please contact us directly and we can give you a per account rate. So that's if you manage 3 to 5 plus accounts, we can do a rate for agencies, which we also work with. And we're both USA and EU focused. So we've sold multiple millions in both the USA and EU, and also manage accounts and clients in both those markets. So that's it. That's our services. Any questions about our service, please post them in the Q&A, and then we'll get to them in a couple of minutes. So how much is this worth? So let's review. What you get is you get unlimited Amazon seller central tasks and problems solved. You get full account audit as we come on board and powerful reports, including quarterly reimbursement calculated and filed. So we're going to get you money back every quarter. You get a team of professionals behind you, and behind them you have us. You can skip all human resources, time and expenses. So nothing needed to recruit, nothing needed to train. and you get support across all markets when adding markets. So we can support you whether your business is just in the US or whether you're expanding internationally. And as a bonus for this webinar, we're adding access to AMZ Repricer Enhanced. So this
I'll explain that really quickly.
Okay.
So this might not apply, right? So most people doing many people doing OA and wholesale, they have got their paid repricer, and it's either I don't know what BQ will cost, but $20 up to $200 a month. This is a tool that we made that basically the Amazon repricer is really unserviceable, but it kind of soups it up to make it usable. You can kind of see what's going on, your buy box, your profit. You can make notes and stuff. So it's a really good substitute for a repricer, especially for someone who has maybe a lower amount of listings, or they're just sick of paying $200. And I can give you an offline talk about that. But for this webinar, we're including free access to that. It's a paid tool that I operate. So.
Thanks,
and
Brian.
it's like a substitute for a paid repricer almost.
Awesome. So let's add it up. So finding hiring assistants, whether you use either your own time or whether you use a service, this tends to cost $500 to $1,000 every time we hire someone. Employing a virtual assistant, so somebody very cheap in Southeast Asia, say $400 to $1,000 a month. And this is for, a low-level person. Somebody who's actually got this skill set when we've hired in the past has been, $1,500 a month plus if we've hired outsourced workers. Although we do keep them in office at the same time, so we have control. Training time. So it depends what their experience is, but say 10 to 100 hours or more. And if that's our time, minimum our time is worth, say, $50 an hour. Ideally, we're aiming to become the owner, which means our time should be worth more like, $100 to $200 an hour. So that's a huge investment, especially if we're doing it over and over again. Then there's management and communication time. Again, 10, 12 to 50 hours at our current rate. And that's 12 to 50 hours a month, I think, is quite a low amount of time. That's only 3 hours a week of communication if you're managing somebody. And then experience solving issues. So irreplaceable or 5+ years of experience of each one of our team members, depending on the team member. And we have a different level of technical capabilities within our team. So from 5 years solving issues all day, every day, up into people that can create listings. So dozens of hours a month and hundreds or thousands of dollars worth of time to handle basic tasks and follow up on cases. So I've seen some Q&A questions come in. We'll get to them in about a minute. So how much is this worth? So everything we get is there. And our standard price for our basic level service is $597 a month. But for Chris's audience, because obviously every webinar needs a webinar offer, we're doing it for $497 a month. And that's locked in for life. On top of that, you get the AMZ Repricer Enhanced, and you also get the onboarding survey. So we get a full onboarding audit, which takes you through. We find the issues, and our aim in the onboarding audit is to basically pay for your first month's service. If we can find that value inside it, hopefully we make the first month free, along with the reimbursements, along with everything else. Basically, we're almost free for the first month.
Explain that a little bit better. When we're doing the audit, we go through every single setting you have. We look at how your listings are set up. We look at what kind of advertising campaigns you're running, if you are, because that's John's specialty. We kind of look over your every setting. What are you doing with unfulfillable returns? Every single thing. And we often find people are spending a lot of money on paying for barcodes or whatever it may be. But we always find some good stuff in that audit. And it also gives a list of tasks to do for the first month. So you have a page, and you can say, okay, well, let's send this one to them. And we suggested it, you handed it to us when we finished it. So kind of like that. So carry on, John.
Thanks. Yeah. So Brian's better at explaining me, but we go deep into your account, and we try and find anything that we can change, which will save you money, or just should be updated. So if you're interested, we have 3 steps to sign up. So we're going to copy and paste this link now into the chat so you can find it. So this is the landing page just for this offer with Chris. So it gives you the discounted rate locked in for life. Once you have completed the form on this page, it then forwards you to an onboarding calendar where you book in your onboarding in the next 48 hours to 5 days. We get on a call with you. We take you through how our system works and then get you set up for the audit so that we can run the audit. And then we have another call where we take you through step by step the audit and everything we found wrong with your accounts or anything we think that could be changed. And basically, you'll be ready to go in the next 2 to 7 working days. The sooner you book, the sooner we can get you on board. We have a limited number of onboardings per day, and we've limited the total number of people that we can take on during this webinar to 8 to 10, because we have a limit.
10.
We can do 10. But because we have a limit based on our staff, and we want to make sure we always give the highest quality service. So we expand our staff, we run a webinar, we take on a few more clients, and then we expand our team again. So we only do this in a phased approach. We're not continuously taking people on. So that's how we work. So now it's time for any questions. I'll leave it on this slide here.
You want me to volley up some questions for you guys?
Perfect, that'd be great.
All right.
Open up chat as well.
So JR is curious, do you guys deal with the idiots at seller performance at all?
All right, I'll step in here.
You want me to? Okay.
It depends what the question is with seller performance. Anything that can be raised through Seller Central, then yes, we will deal with it. We can deal with it. We know how to phrase things to them if they're asking questions, IP claims, also counterfeit claims. We can deal with everything like that through Seller Central, but we can't deal with any of the emails we need to send externally. So if it's to seller performance at Amazon.com.
What we'll do in that case, and this also comes up with brand registry because we can't log into people's brand registry, is we do it with one more thing. Hold on, I lost my train of thought there.
We write emails.
We'll give you the template to tell you what to send inside of the request and saying, okay, Seller Central got us here, so here's the template. And this is exactly what you want to say, because you have to email them directly, basically, from the owner's account. And then you can kind of tell us what happened, and we can walk you through in that way. And in the past, we've done something where basically we can't log into your seller, brand registry. So we'll do a screen share, and we can go through the settings, and we kind of see, okay, what's going on in here? Why isn't your account linking to your store, and whatever else is happening? So we can walk you through things, but you need to be the account owner directly. So we can tell you what to say, and we can tell you how to respond and stuff, but we're not the ones actually emailing. It's kind of a little bit of interactive with you, basically.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how it is industry-wide when you have to deal with seller performance. Let's see here. So is there one virtual assistant assigned to your account, or is there a pool of VAs that can handle the account?
Yeah, that's a great question. I can step in that one if you want, Brian.
Okay, go for it.
So when a support ticket comes into our system, it goes to our highest level rep. They then assign it based on task. So we have, whether it's something simple, we get assigned to one person, whether it's something medium, which we do every day, assigned to someone else, or whether it's a high level technical issue they keep themselves. So you get the rep based on every single task. We have a small team, so you'll see the same people coming back and forward, and you'll get to know certain people like Regina, Arvin, Jenny. Like, we have a small team, but they're so efficient that everything gets assigned as we go. And the team is always expanding. But basically, you'll get the best person for the job every single time, is the idea.
Nice. Are you able to go back through previously closed cases from seller support to see if things should have been resolved differently and then work on those?
Well, we can't go through, depends what you mean. We can't go through all of them and figure and read them through all. But if you tell us, hey, I worked on this and this is what happened, we could tell you, well, this should have happened and we can do this. So we won't be able to go through all the cases, there's thousands, and figure out what happened in all these cases and what should we have done differently. It's more like an issue that we can identify by the current status of your account, or that you remembered it or you know it. Mm-hmm. So we can work on anything old. It's just we have to be drawn our attention to it.
Yeah, that makes sense. For the quarterly reimbursements, will you initially go backwards through several quarters or just the most recent quarter?
We'll do the whole year. When you start, we'll do the whole year, basically, from January until now.
Perfect. Yeah, that could be absolute. I mean, I know that I'm missing, so I'm sure of it. Let's see here. Do you run the advertising campaigns if we don't know how?
Well, when we do our audit, so we'll look at the advertising, we'll comment, and we'll say, okay, are you using automatic campaigns, and what are you doing? But we do not manage advertising, and I'll let John step in because John's Ecom DNA agency, that's what they do. So John, maybe you can comment on.
Yeah, so for OA and wholesale, we're not experts in advertising, and what we see as Seller Candy is we do one-off tasks. So the reason that we can afford to do what we do at the price we do is that we're not doing the strategy. So so if you do want to do strategy, we can talk about that, but really we don't do this yet. But it's something we're looking to do. So maybe Chris, we can talk about that in the future. Adding some, what's the best practice for advertising for OA and wholesale? Because we see lots of different strategies going on. So yeah, maybe that's something we'll talk about in the future, doing something for OA best practice.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see. There's a couple of these, or two or three of these here. So I'll ask this once to kind of answer everybody's. But how big or small of an account would you take for the lowest tier? And then the other kind of half of that is like, what type of volume do you think is the best to work with for this sort of service?
So our smallest sellers do as little as say 15,000 a month in revenue. Is that about right, Brian?
I think we have maybe one who's down. In the 10 to 15 would be the low
10
end.
to 15 range smallest, and our biggest sellers do over $1 million a month. So it really depends. If you've got a very large account with a lot of issues going on, we may need to have a conversation about upgrading slightly on number of tasks if everything is, because things tend to go wrong faster. But for our average seller, 15,000 a month to 200,000 a month, 3 tasks seems to be good enough.
I believe the saying is "mo money, mo problems," right?
Oh yeah,
as always. Yeah. Mo money, mo things breaking every day.
Once you do the audit and recommendations, does your service just take over and follow through with this every month, or how does that work?
So I'll take that one. So when we finish the audit, then it's on you to submit to us the things that you want us to do and things that come up. The quarterly reimbursements and stuff, we will proactively initiate that with you, or you could tell us, hey, well, I want to start my my reimbursement or whatever you want. So we
also have some stuff you can do every month. So sorry to interrupt, Brian.
Yeah, go for it.
Like, for example, shipment reconciliations. Has everything you've shipped from your prep center actually arrived? Is anything not being followed up on? So we can do that once a month. There's not much point doing it more than once a month. And other different tasks you can give us once a month, just to kind of do all the things which are admin and suck time, but kind of don't add any value, except do add value because you've lost a lot of stuff and it's worth money.
The proactive, the quarterly reimbursements is kind of like our proactive thing. Most other things you should request them. So that's kind of how it works.
Perfect. So Sean has kind of a long question here. The brand registry. Amazon says my brand is listed on first level register at patent and trademark, but they need that listed in the second level register. Let's see, what size sellers do you serve? We do about 5 million at Amazon, all wholesale stuff.
So personally, actually, I haven't heard Amazon refer to it as first and second level register. What I assume they mean is the brand has registered it and they haven't assigned it to your account, possibly. So that means that the brand has to then add you as an admin through their brand registry account. If it's your own, you need to add the email for your Seller Central account. And then to link the products from brand registry to your Seller Central account, usually you have to do a flat file upload of all your listings again, with the brand name spelled correctly and everything right, to then link your listings so you have storefront control and enhanced, A+ content. That's something we can definitely help with.
It would probably end up in being a Zoom call, the way we described it earlier, because it's complex. There's another case that we just have been dealing with this last month. It's very, very similar. So I see there's a question about Ecom DNA for you, John. Any offers for Ecom? So I'll read it to you. Any offers for Ecom DNA, and how much is that?
So Ecom DNA being a full service, I don't want to get too into Ecom DNA on here, but so because it's a full service agency, we actually run a proper discovery process with you to figure out where you are now and what the upside and where you want to be with your account. So our range is, basically $2,500 a month to $10,000 a month. But this is full service management, and we actually have a goal of we are going to take your account from here to there. So this is why it's a much higher level service. And we basically become your Amazon operations team, and you have an account manager, you have an expert who can deliver results.
Sales based and marketing.
But if you want to reach out to me at john@ecomdna.com, then I can chat to you about that separately.
Perfect. Archie's curious, can you resolve when shipments are shorted at the fulfillment warehouse? So you send in 100 units and they decide that you only get 50 of them.
After 14 days, we can open it up and see what's going on. But we can't speed it up in the first week or two. People ask us that more than you would think. But that's one thing we can't do. We cannot speed it up. We can, after 14 days, we can open a case and say what's going on, and we can find something. But yeah, that's the answer.
Yeah, and that's not on their part. That's Amazon. Amazon has a set period of time. Does this include things such as getting items out of suppressed pricing, adding missing words, bullets to listings, or can you give us a few other common tasks that you guys see are handled on a regular basis?
All of that stuff is the things we're doing every single day. We're fixing A+ content. We're fixing bullet points, recropping pictures, and if you know the new video section, people will be uploading their videos onto your listing, and we upload our own video to clear out their videos at the very bottom of the listings. Just all different stuff about listings. John, you want to, let's see here. Suppressed buy boxes, suppressed listings, suppressed anything that's suppressed. We're working on it. That's kind of what we do a lot of. So it's
also for OA, one we see quite a lot is the listing suppressed for pricing. When someone else jumps on your listing, sells at 50% of the cost, or Amazon jumps on your listing, sells at 50% of the cost to everyone else, it's then suppressed for everyone as soon as they sell out because the pricing is so ridiculously higher. So we can go in and we'll get Amazon to refresh the listing and get you your buy box back, or at least mean that now people can compete for the buy box, because lots of other arbitrage sellers or wholesale sellers are selling this product, but nobody has the buy box and then nobody's refreshed it. So we actually, we do a good thing for everyone, get it selling again, basically.
That's awesome.
We try. That's not a 100%. That's tough. That takes us some back and forth and explaining and showing, and here's the price here's the MSRP. It's kind of like a process, but we have done it before.
Yeah.
Oh, we do it.
Suppress buy boxes.
Yeah, and guys, let us know if you have any other questions. I'll tell you what I'll do too. If anybody decides that they want to sign up and use this service, I'll offer an hour of my time. We'll sit down and we can talk about anything that you might need help with. The things that I'm personally good at are online arbitrage and building relationships, and I've got a little bit of experience building software and things like that, like Brian does. So anything you might want to pick my brain about, or maybe I can help you with, I'll give you an hour and we'll just sit down and talk and chew the fat and figure out any issues that I can help with. So, anybody who decides to sign up, I'll do that as well.
Well, thanks, Chris.
That's a surprise offer.
Yeah, surprise offer. Yeah.
Let me continue on that last question. Just a couple other things that we're doing. So as I mentioned, all the things that with listings, anything to do with flat files, listings being closed, listings being inactive, brand registry stuff, of course, reimbursements. We do some coupon creation and stuff like that if you use coupons. I'm just trying to, we kind of have like a large library of stuff that we do. It's just pretty much anything you can do in Seller Central. If you get any case whatsoever and they give you a case ID, you can open a case and say, here's the case. This is what they're doing to me, and fix it, please. And then we go open that case that you started, and we'll take it from there. So it's pretty much anything that goes wrong in Seller Central, we're working on it.
Nice.
It also means that we can step in straight away and be adding value because you can just transfer anything you're doing currently to us, which is means we're very quick to get on board.
I see another one, a question about feedback. We have a limit on feedback. We will request your feedback to be removed, and if they say no, but we believe it is actually a wrong feedback, then we'll continue. But there's a certain level of requests before Amazon they will react and ding your listing. So we can go so far. We can only go so far with that. And as far as strategic removal, like contacting customers and saying, hey, would you remove this feedback if we do this? We don't do that because we don't contact customers, but we can remove it through our systems and through contacting support.
And I would imagine I would imagine the same goes for like seller feedback. You guys will try to get Amazon to remove those if they're legitimately incorrect.
Yeah,
Same
100%.
thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Same thing.
So we just don't want to contact customers because there's some very very fine line in terms of service between contacting people, and we stay well away from gray or black areas just because we're a service. We want to help people increase their account performance.
Absolutely.
Get into danger.
Absolutely. All right. Any other questions or anything before we call it an evening? I'll let these guys get to it. I know it's early in the morning there.
Yeah, get some coffee over here.
I am overly caffeinated already over here.
Yeah, you came right downstairs. I didn't see you.
So if anyone else has any questions, any clarifications, anything like that, feel free to reach out to me or Brian directly. So it's John with an H at sellercandy.com or Brian
with an I.
Yeah,
it's spelled with a Y sometimes, though.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Brian at sellercandy.com. You can reach out to us. JR Kegel, sorry, I got your name wrong, says there's no such thing as over caffeinated. I beg to differ. I think the panic attack level is the over caffeinated level, the one where you're like you're about to shake your way out. So any questions, come up to us directly. Awesome. Thanks, Chris, for having us on, and thank you for your really kind offer of an hour of your time as well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. That's a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to do that. Yeah. So this was great, guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time. This was recorded, so I'll get it uploaded to the YouTubes, and it'll be out to everyone tomorrow who may have missed this or wants to watch it over again. And thank you for being here, everybody. I appreciate you taking the time. John, Brian, I appreciate you guys. And have a great night, everybody.
Thank you, Chris. You're a pro. Appreciate it, man. Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, everybody.